Shaba and Joshua. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shaba Chordash, and I'm looking after partnership and alliances here in Matrix Room Europe. And my honor to introduce today Josh Wick from HCL Technologies to talk about his perspective on what risk would look like in Metaverse. Josh?
Thank you. Pleasure. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry about this. I'm getting my bearings. I'm honored to be here today with some of the finest people in the industry serving GRC. It's indeed a pleasure and privilege to represent HCL, which is a $12 billion company in 54 countries with over 219,000 employees. It is one of the most influential of IT GRC professionals across the world. HCL Tech has a long history of a proven record of bringing the best of technology and talent to drive business. Today I'm going to speak on what many call the greatest technology of our time, the next evolution of the internet, the Metaverse, which is the potential to change the fundamentally on how we live, where we live, and more specifically how we connect to businesses and the people around us. The technology is expected to generate $5 trillion in value by 2030 and has been reported that $120 billion has already been invested in months of 2022. But the journey of the Metaverse is not going to be an easy one. Like every great journey which transforms people and great histories, it is filled with obstacles and opportunities. The journey to the Metaverse has set complexities, challenges, and risk. Risk is out of focus today. And with the Metaverse, we have an opportunity for the risk to evolve with the Metaverse. It's a chance to be proactive rather than reactive as many technology innovations such as the most we call Web 1.0 and 2.0. Here's our disclaimer just to let you know that this point of view is solely my own point of view and is not representative of HCL. Thank you. Today, when the Metaverse of the future is taking shape, once again, we may have the same crossroads. As many would be willing to take the time to leap into the future, the Metaverse, what does the future look like at the moment? Let me give you a glimpse. In the first months of 2022, according to McKinsey, the report, more than $120 billion has been invested in building Metaverse technology and the infrastructure, which is more than double $5.7 billion invested in all of 2021. The economic reality simulated really goes more interesting. With its potential to generate up to $5 trillion by 2030, while the reality of the Metaverse is just driven energy, measures, and high tech. Automotive, machinery, some use tourism, and the media entertainment, followed by banking, FS, pharma, healthcare, education, and retail. The Metaverse is becoming more top of mind of most industry segmentations. Gartner much invested a huge market caps and great promise the ways that just recently unimaginable is interacting with the customers and transacting business. Being proactive, we have the opportunity to shape the global standards and address the full spectrum as it comes to risk of the internet of the future. I'm only going to talk about a few case studies here on the few industries. I don't want to go into all of them. So aerospace is using Metaverse to run tests and simulations for airplane design, planning, and visualization. The industry leaders are using the Metaverse for recruitment and training and new talent in the simulated environment, thus saving on costs, making future-proof efforts, and increasing efficiency. The manufacturing industry are using the Metaverse for training the new frontline workers. Retail industry is building virtual stores and enhanced customers' experience and creating digital fashions and collectibles for digital avatars. Today, we are here to address the adoption of BFSI firms. Many of them are investing in the Metaverse to engage with their customers, digitizations, and services to acquire new customers, improve their lending capabilities, and revolutionize customer services. For example, HSBC has brought a plot of land in the sandbox of Metaverse to engage with sports, esports, and for gaming fans. London-based fintech Socken is also building an infrastructure for processing Metaverse payments, transactions, and investments. The whole of the Metaverse is putting the broad range in the new technologies. Technologies in the Metaverse. Metaverse is seemingly in a convergence of technology and infrastructure, and it is up to the business and how they want to utilize the convergence to their own business. and would be in the industry. Specific or similar to what Uber, Netflix, Spotify, and other digital native companies did customers experience. These apps force the entire business community, irrespective of industries, to adopt new technologies and drive customer experience in the metaverse. Still fledgling technology, but is expected to create more massive impact on businesses. Sorry. Here's an example of the metaverse and what it means to us here at HCL. As you notice, an artist is spending the day at the metaverse. She's exhibiting a painting at an art gallery, and she starts by selecting a new designer outfit when pays with crypto. In her exhibit, the gallery, she sells her work and receives payment in crypto. With her earnings, she decides to buy a piece of real property and seeks a loan. Her loan advisor makes a recommendation as she accepts the transaction and is closed within the metaverse, all regulatory and compliance tasks. She decides to celebrate on the beach with champagne at the end. Now we're going to talk about the associated risks with the metaverse. The standard was deployed. I'm going to talk about two key issues in BFSI that we focus on, data governance being one of them. BS 239 has been a standard that we've been trying in the financial services to acquire and maintain. It's been noted in a report in May 2018 by the European Central Bank, notes that thus far, none of those significant institutions, some of that are classified as globally systemic and important banks, have fully implemented BCBS 239, adding a weakness to many in the lack of clarity regarding responsibility and accountability for data quality. The report concludes, amongst other points, that full implementation of BCBS principles will probably not be achieved in any time, and several credit implementation schedules to the end of 2019. So as the metaverse continues to unravel and unfold, how are we creating, that golden source? How do we protect the data? What are the things that we're thinking about? Who are we working with? Who are our partners? Who's working with our businesses? Another issue that we've noticed was with KYC AML. How do we find the data? Who are we speaking with? How do we know who our customer is? How do we know who the avatar is, who they say they are? These are going to, as the industry continues to evolve, they're going to continue to present more challenges as this arises. So, for a question, will the business entities be able to meet the data compliance requirements across, such as the EU Central Data Protection for GDPR in the metaverse? That's still yet to be known. So moving on. From my past experience, I've spent about 20 years working with regulators in the U.S. around risk and compliance breaches, and I can tell you from working with regulators that they're looking for people to be more thought leaders and forward thinking on how they're going to address risk and manage them before they actually happen. So as we look at the metaverse as it's starting to unravel, this truly does give us the opportunity as practitioners to actually work with our clients, work with our businesses and our stakeholders to actually come work with us and help them shape what their risk tolerance may be, help them shape their risk appetite. We've heard about that talked about today, and actually help them with their strategic planning within their risk guidelines. Okay, that's supercharging progress with a superior metaverse. At HCL, we are helping customers enable their journey to the metaverse. It is a crucial component of HCL Tech. It brings HCL SMEs and the industry partners and BFSI leaders together to enable an immersive digital experience, and defines the metaverse. The process includes defining a value-focused strategy to create an MVP, testing and learning the adoption, and scaling for a business strategy. What's novel about HCL's approach is it includes the CRO function with everything that we do.
Thanks, Josh. Just before we go into Q&A, there's a few questions that we put together. So you talked about the journey to Metaverse, and based on your experience, when it comes to introducing new technology, what kind of challenges you see in the past, and how businesses can prepare to introduction, not just Metaverse, but any new technology?
Historically speaking, we tend to focus on risk and the problems after they have already happened. We rarely ever focus on working with the business and become their strategic partners to understand what their journey looks like In HCL, we take the time to actually understand our business and our clients' needs, and we actually help them map that out and help them with their risk assessments, looking at their journey, and ensuring that this technology is going to meet their overall goals and work in line with their risk appetite statement.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience to Josh?
Okay.
If not, we can help a bit to pick up with the agenda, Sunil. So
Great,
thank you so much.
Oh, we have one
Josh.
question at the back, do we?
Thank you.
Wait, before you go, gentlemen, one question's coming.
Josh.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. Could you please tell me what is the kind of the regulatory focus you're seeing on the metaverse, and how is that going to kind of evolve in the coming years?
Say that one more time, I couldn't hear you.
Is there what kind of a regulatory focus from external regulators are you seeing in this area in terms of metaverse? And I know it's kind of having touch points with blockchain and all that kind of technology, but what is the kind of the regulatory focus you're anticipating in the coming years in the metaverse?
From what I'm seeing and what's being socialized, seems to be a lot of concern around the KYC, AML, and really understanding who your customer is. How do you identify them? And then having that data lineage that you can secure it. We don't have the GDPR regulations. We have them in certain states, but not overall as a country. For that being said, they want to know how you're going to use the technology, how you're going to protect the customer, how you're going to understand who they are, they say they are. And then to take it one step further, is the technology and the gateway that you're using, how do you secure that as well, since it's moving around in different geos, and it can create sanctions issues. I'm trying not to talk about KYC AML at a GRC conference, so I do apologize, but that seems to be the focal point. From what I've heard down in Washington, D.C., they want to kind of figure out what is happening, how do you identify who they say they are. That's kind of the first step before you move money, right? Anybody else?
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.